This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the Fishing Crew.
What is going on tonight, buddy?
Oh, I let her rip. We're gonna have open water. I'm done with the vertical hook set. That's it.
You gotta let her eat.
Yep, I'm gonna do like Pat Schlopper taught me and lay into it. Oh, it was so embarrassing when I was fishing with him on Table Rock and I stuck my fingers into the bail and then I got them stuck and I couldn't get them out. You want to talk about super embarrassing? He's like, I don't understand. Why are you embarrassed around me? I'm like, because you're an elite, man. You know, I mean, holy cats. It's not like you get to fish with somebody like that all the time. So, you know, I was pretty excited and I was pretty nervous. And then I was really excited over the weekend because what did Chasen do? He picked Pat Schlopper to win the thing. Actually, I just put him in. I put him in Drain the Lake, which we don't do on our Between Hook Sets fantasy group. I do it on another one. And I thought for sure, I like Pat's my dark horse. And it was there if it wouldn't have been for Koya Fujita.
Yeah,
so,
he was not in my realm of picks. Obviously, where I finished, 9th or 10th in our standings. You can tell him I know walleye is way better than I do bass, but it was a lot of fun to do that fantasy league. Grant Farmer won the week. So, and you got to have your picks in if you're watching for tomorrow's takeoff tonight at the latest. So make sure you got your picks in for this week. We end up with 13 teams in the fantasy Between Hook Sets fantasy fishing. So a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. Never done it before, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, just a terrible ton of fun. It's frustrating though too. You know, the crazy thing is if you look at the group that we've got, you know, you don't want to score 800 or 900 points. You want 1,000 or more. You want to have 1,100 average if you want to win something. You know, you're really trying for 12 to 1,300.
Well, thanks. I got like 800.
Yeah, I know. So did I. I was right above you. You know, so it didn't go well the first one, but that's okay. You know, not a big, huge deal. Now tonight, at some point, we're going to give you a chance to win one of these dandy mugs that my good friend Knothead in Sioux Falls did for us, and you know, we just decided let's give away a couple of things and just make it, you know, some sort of fun. I was going to say ton of fun, but just to rhyme. But I can't believe that winning a coffee mug is going to be a ton of fun, but some fun nonetheless. Speaking of fun, we've got I think we're going to have a fun night tonight, a fun guest, our first youngster. I don't know. I just don't know where this is going to go because I hate to say it. I'm feeling like the grandpa in the bunch, but that's all right. I don't care. Sam Spies, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Fantastic.
So for people who don't know Sam, Sam is fishing in the high school bass circuit down south. Sam is from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and he is traveling down south to compete in the Bass Masters High School Series. And I'm impressed. Your last tournament, 38th out of 250.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you go down there, you have a couple days of practice, never been on these lakes before, and 38th out of 250, you and your partner, Max. What is it like? How did you get involved into bass fishing? I mean, that is something awesome to see. I mean, how old are you? First off, how old are you?
I'm 17. Just turned 17. Just turned 17.
All right. So 17 years old. Did you, I don't know if until Kurt comes back, did you find the bass fishing on Lake Campesca? Is that kind of where you ended up picking it up or?
No, I've caught a few bass there, but that's not really a lot of just small ponds around Sioux Falls.
So how did you get into bass fishing? I mean, I know your dad, I know your uncle, I know your family. Walleye fisherman. I mean, your uncle, I don't know if we call him anything, but Your dad obviously has competed in the Governor's Cup for years upon years, and now you're here and you've taken it to a new level. And bass, I mean, how? Why? How did you get into it? Why are you not fishing the Gov Cup walleye? You are this year,
So,
but
so yeah, obviously I grew up fishing walleyes with my dad and my uncle a little bit, but I mean, around 2019, 2020, around the COVID times, I didn't really have anything else to do. I was out fishing ponds about every single day around the Sioux Falls area. And then probably about 2022, I think it was, one of my buddies from Watertown, old buddy that I used to go to school with, sent me a text, asked me if I wanted to start fishing tournaments with him. And then I don't know, we kind of just went from there.
so only a few short years, 3-4 years into this bass fishing stuff. What is it like? What are you learning?
So I've learned a lot. Like this year, I'm hopefully soon getting my own boat, and learning like how to run electronics and everything has been a big part, especially fishing in South Dakota. Like bass here are a lot harder to catch than they are down south, I would say. And especially with live scope and everything, being able to know how to run a live scope really well is really a key thing, I'd say, to get into college. And yeah, just knowing how to do everything and learning how to fish here. And yeah,
Are you hanging your hat on the forward-facing sonar?
uh, no, I would not say I am.
Okay.
You're
Well,
not,
yeah.
as Zaldane said in his video I watched this week, you're not a scoper.
I'd say when I need to be, I'm definitely a scoper.
So when you need to be, I know that's kind of a stupid question, but for a lot of us that I've got live scope, I've got Mega Live, I use it, but I'm realizing I'm not using it like the pros do, like those guys that are really good fishing and really good at using it do. So it's easy to just think that you should use it all the time, but you say when you need to, without giving up any secrets, what's when you need to.
So when we were in Clarks Hill recently, it was pretty much all live scope because the fish were still in their winter pattern, so they were all way offshore, about 30, 40 feet. And without live scope, it'd be nearly impossible to catch any of them. So they were all sitting bottom. You'd have to just drive around searching live scope, looking for big fish on the bottom, and pretty much have to drop right on their head with live scope. And without live scope, I mean, you wouldn't really be able to find them at all. And I'd say during summer, I mean, when they're spawning, you don't really need live scope as they're up on the banks. But there's obviously times where they're deeper, and I mean, the only way you can really find them and like pinpoint where they are and catch them consistently is with live scope.
Yeah, I think it's a great tool. There are a lot of people bellyache, and Randy Blockett's one of them too. And I really don't understand. And I've said it a million times. Forward-facing sonar does not catch fish. People do. And it's people that use the forward-facing sonar that are abusing it. So, let's leave forward-facing sonar alone and let's just start picking on people and pointing fingers at the people. I'm not trying to teach you anything as a youngster, though. I'm trying to be a responsible adult and let you just go about fishing your own way. But it is that something that I'm guessing because you guys are younger, you're in your teens, you're 17. You guys don't talk about technology getting in the way of anything because you really didn't know anything different for the most part. So you know, do you care that technology is moving as fast as it is?
I mean, yeah, me being as young as I am, that's all I've really ever known. I mean, the first tournament I ever did, I was trying to figure out how to run the live scope. So, I mean, I think it really adds to it. And I think it adds a whole new level of skill that's involved. And I think you just have to learn at the game. It's just like anything else. I'd say new stuff comes out, and that's just how it is.
Yeah,
It's
because it was gonna be a
interesting.
day we talked about live scope as a thing of the past, right? I mean, like I've told people, you're all worried about outlawing that. Let's outlaw GPS mapping and spot lock. And I mean, the Vexlar changed ice fishing. It's evolution. It's going to come. There's going to be something new. Danny Thompson with Garmin on his Facebook drop that he's ready for the Bassmasters. Can't wait for the what's to come. They've been beta testing a bunch of new products. So who knows? I mean, you don't know what's next. We fished with the Garmin guys last year ice fishing, and they said they've been beta testing something for 5 years. If it comes, it's going to be even more revolutionary than live scope. I can't wrap my simple mind around what could be more revolutionary than live scope, but obviously people out there way smarter than us are doing those things, and it's great. And I don't see it being a problem. I will take back, a lot of my saying of, hey, they can't regulate it. After watching Zeldane's video last night, this one guy had 4 12-inch screens at the console, 3 up front. He figured he had $50,000 in electronics. He had, I think, 4 or 5 live scope or forward-facing sonars mounted on his boat. Maybe it is going to be too much, but at the same time, they might get lost in it and not just go fishing either.
Yeah. I honestly, show off. 'Cause seriously, I've got 5 screens on my boat on Lake Oahe. I have 3 9s at the dash. I have a 7 in the back and a 5 in the front. I don't fish that much out there because I fish alone and it's windy. But is it really helping me catch fish? Now I'm going to use my Mega Live this year in a completely different way than I ever did. So it could change things in a big way, because I now that I've bass fished with Casey Briggs and I actually have an idea what you guys go through, what you look for, and how you hunt them down. I didn't know. I mean, I just had no clue, and now I do. So for me, the well is broke. I'm going to go out and try something different. But to have all that stuff, honestly, I can go back to when I was, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, when Grandpa got the Lowrance Fish Locator, right?
The old green
box. Now, it completely changed fishing for us because we were guessing at depth. Had no clue we'd been fishing in 6 feet of water all those years. I mean, we kind of knew, but you didn't know. And now all of a sudden, you've got that flasher spinning around like, oh, wait a minute. We've been fishing in 6 feet of water, but there's a 9-foot hole right here. And we're catching fish every time we go over the top of it. So, 40 years ago, 45 years ago, life changed. So it's always going to change. And look at now, who's out there now? I can't remember who it is. I don't think it's Hank Cherry, but one of the guys is doing virtual reality. They got that thing plugged in. He's going to have a cable. It's not going to be cordless. But there you go. What's next? You want to talk about video games? There it is.
Yeah. Oh. So you go to these different tournaments. Your last one was in, I can't remember. You told me before we started the show.
Where were you at? Reservoir? Clarksville, Georgia. Yeah. Yes, sir.
And where do you go? You're leaving on Sunday for your next one. Where is that one?
That's in Douglas Lake in Tennessee.
And so you go down there, you get X amount of days to practice, go through what that event looks like. And so people understand, because I don't think people understand this high school bass at the level you're at.
So for us, I mean, we're getting a lot of information from people we know and people who have fished in that area, and also a lot of YouTube, because we got to take what we can get. And being from up here, there's like nobody else who has fished most of these lakes. So, I mean, the first couple of days are usually pretty shaky, but usually we can get it figured out by the time we're ready for the tournament. And I feel like all the times we've gone down south, we felt pretty ready for our tournaments and usually done pretty well.
But you told us before the show started, they've changed some ruling on you now. That's going to hurt you as a northern angler that doesn't live by the body of water, probably more than the locals. It's going to hurt. And what was that ruling they changed? And do you know why they changed it?
Yeah, so now 2 days before the tournaments, the lake is completely off access for all high schoolers. And I'm not sure why they changed it, because I mean, it really doesn't hurt the people fishing there, but it's more hurts us because now we're out more of school, got to make up more work, obviously, and got to go a lot earlier to really figure out our pattern and what we're going to do, because 2 days right before the tournament, that's a big part of our pre-fishing, and we got to miss about a week now. I mean, if we really want to figure it out.
And there is no, like the Elite Series, they have an off limits period, and then they can only fish like the week before the tournament. So they have an off, even the Opens have an off limit period. and now they've kind of done the opposite. They're taking the off limit period and putting it right for the tournament.
Mhm.
So the guys can be out there as many days prior to the tournament, up until them 2 days that live there. They can be on the lake every day. So that
So how
does
about
put a disadvantage at you.
how about the weather? Do you look at the weather that far out, or are you learning like me and old dog new tricks? Stop looking at the weather if you're going to go to Lake Winnipeg or Devil's Lake, because it's not going to matter anyway, because the weather's going to be what it's going to be when you get there.
Yeah, so I mean, in Tennessee or in Georgia, the last one we got, it was sunny pretty much the whole time, and then rain the day of the tournament. And I mean, we thought it was going to affect fishing more than it did. It didn't really affect it all that much. But this one I haven't really looked yet. No, I'll probably check here soon.
So this one, you said, Georgia, you're out deep fishing. When you get to that lake, never being there before. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys don't get to run the big motor in the boat, but you run the boat on the trolling motor. You guys are fully in charge, and your boat captain just sits there during the tournament and kind of marshals you. But how do you start that lake? Where do you start? How do you start? What do you do? Are you starting bank? Are you going out deep? Or what are you doing?
I mean, it'll probably be back to the live scope, just scanning, trying to find fish, and we'll look back to what people were doing a year ago and see similar temperatures. And I'm guessing they'll start to move into pre-spawn hopefully here, and it'll be a little easier instead of the wintering pattern where they're way out deep. And yeah, so with the boat motor thing, yeah, we have a boat captain for high school, but all the pre-fishing, it will just be me and my buddy. So he'll be running the motor and everything. But during the tournament, we can only have the captain who has to be above 21 years old.
I did not know that.
And that there, they can help you everything prior, but when it comes to day of tournament, all they're doing is driving to spots that you tell them to drive to. Am I correct?
So, I mean, a lot of the other teams, their dads pretty much do everything. Their dads are the ones who want them to be out there, and their dad really runs everything. But I mean, my buddy's dad honestly has no idea anything about fishing. His son is like, he'll go out with him every once in a while, but even when he's in the boat with him, his son will still drive the boat, still run everything. He likes doing it for fun, but really doesn't know at all what he's doing. So us, without really help of our parents, we really have to do everything.
Yeah, and that's not such a bad thing.
So the day of the tournament, that the other guy's competitor's dad can drive him to the spot that he wants to go to. He can say, "Oh, we're not catching him here. Let's move over here." Like, I thought it was like they couldn't, like, the day of the tournament, that's on you guys. You tell them where to go. I mean, obviously the night before, the dad can say, "Go here, go here, go here." But I thought all the decisions were on you, and that's not the case. The dads can really help down there.
Well, I honestly cannot remember because this like rule doesn't really apply to us. I've never really had them doing that because it's all us. But I mean, you can't really control that in boats. I mean, dads are going to be doing what they want. But I mean, they're not allowed to net. They're not allowed to cull fish for you. That's all on you. But I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you if they're allowed to tell you where to go.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I suppose that would be questionable, I guess. I don't know. I didn't realize that you had a boat driver, which I guess when it comes to kids and tournaments and fast boats, maybe it makes sense to have the adult at the wheel. Sorry, don't take that personal, but yeah, it makes sense. I want to just toss up a couple of quick pictures here. Is it kind of fun to see you on or see yourself on stage at these events afterwards?
Yeah, it's always fun to look back.
We've got these now. Let's see. It looks like you had longer hair. You had to have been younger there because you look like you're about 15 there.
Yeah, a little bit longer hair. That was last summer. Chopped it
was
off
last
this fall.
summer.
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see. Max kind of has the Seth Fighter thing going on there. What do you? Let's see. I'm trying to figure. What do you have going on there? You kind of got a little bit of your own you going, right?
I don't know. Yeah, we both had the long hair going there. I'm not really sure what it was, but
what did you cut it off? Because boy, a lot long hair would drive me nuts. That whole mullet thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with that now.
Yeah, well, you're starting to grow up, realizing that hey, chicks don't really dig it that much, right?
That's just
Yeah.
you're just mad you can't grow up, Brian.
That's funny. That's funny. Now, okay. So before I forget, because I got a couple of extra pictures here, I did spend a little time working on things because your dad's an artist, and I thought, well, in case your dad hasn't painted you or done, a drawing of you, I took a little time and I threw one together real quick. Nothing too spectacular. I think that my uncle's rendition of you is stupendous.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. Is that
Yeah,
not, does that not say Uncle Benny right there? Now, the crazy thing is I was trying to fill in the hat. Your hat that you're wearing, we're having a tough time seeing it. Looks like there's a bass on it, but what's the hat? Point your
yeah.
head toward it
So
again.
it's a bait shop
Oh, yeah,
from
okay.
when I was in Georgia. I don't know, they had some really cool stuff. It was a really sweet bait shop. Nothing like we have here because obviously they got all bass stuff there.
Oh, hey, here's the deal. I'm digging on your hat, man. I think it's the bomb. Hey, it's bussin'. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. My dad's not really a fan. He's a little bit. He doesn't like the rope, but
He does like the
no.
rope.
what are you gonna do?
I love the rope. I mean, the rope
Yeah,
is
I
the
like
way
it
to
too.
go. I absolutely love it. I love throwing memes together, and I don't know if anybody got a chance to see I think this was my funniest meme. When I put this together, I busted out laughing. I didn't stop for, I don't know, a half an hour. I'm like, I wonder if anybody even understood that. Like I had a friend text me and go, how in the heck do you do that stuff? I'm like, it's a secret.
So
That is a secret.
you're obviously fishing this to try to move to the next level. And talking to your dad here a few weeks ago after he sent me the text and super proud dad moment, sent me the big text about how well you did down in Georgia. He's telling me about this crazy thing that I don't think most people up here know about, the high school bass fishing combine. Tell us about this combine event. It's just like the NFL combine, but tell us about this combine. I did a little research, watched a couple videos on YouTube, but tell us what it's like. And you're going to that this summer.
Yes, I am. So it's so first of all they have skill competitions. So like whoever can cast the farthest, like they have pitching competitions where you try to pitch into buckets off the front of a boat. And they also have competitions on like running a boat and seeing who can like run a boat and do their own stuff so they know that it's not just their parents doing everything. And then the main part is like a bunch of colleges set up like booths in a big room, and then you go around talking to coaches, telling them what you're all about and trying to sell your cause, pretty much trying to get them to invest in you and hopefully give you a scholarship for their team.
Well, I've seen something. They've done millions of dollars in scholarships off of this event. And I don't think people up here realize that there are full-on high or college teams and kids getting full rides to go fish bass down south. Like it is a full-on, just like a football or baseball or anything like that. This is a full, true college sport. And it's pretty impressive that we don't see it. SDSU has a high or college team. I think it's just a club team. I don't think you can get scholarships to it like you can for Auburn or Texas Tech or any of those big schools down south that go to this combine and recruit you to come fish for their team. That is a pretty neat deal that the outdoor industry is finally hitting, the academic industry. When I was a kid, if you went fishing and you're skipping school to go fishing, they were chewing you out because you're not going to have a future. Now you're going to fishing tournaments to go to college. That's pretty cool in my book.
Oh, that just oozes with cool. You're going to college on a fishing scholarship. That's I don't want it's not going to be an easy ride, obviously, but how cool. And I heard the SDSU bass team is really good. So
I don't know. I guess I don't know much about that, if it's a actual collegiate or if it's a club or what it is, but SDSU does have a bass fishing team. So
Sam, when you're out there now, you're heading to Tennessee. Do you have a couple of confidence tactics that you use? That have you tried the new Berkeley finisher, the Kredge, some of that stuff, or do you have your standard standard way of doing things, or is it a secret and we shouldn't ask?
I think I can tell you because I don't think you guys will be out on Lake Douglas anytime soon. So we're hoping to throw a lot of big swim baits, hopefully, and a lot of finesse stuff too. So like the can't remember what they're called right now. Oh, the Meg draft by Mega Bass. It will be a big thing, hopefully. And then a lot of just small finesse stuff like a drop shot and yeah.
Does your dad try to pack the bottom bouncers and spinners for you?
No, he doesn't. Unfortunately, the boat doesn't have rod holders, so it'd be a little tough one.
I mean, if I was doing this back in the day, my dad would be giving me the cranking rods and the bottom bouncers and spinners and but
So
no,
of the guys on the Bassmaster Elites, who's the most fun, Milliken or Robinson?
Definitely Milliken. Been watching his stuff. He's got the long hair. I don't anymore, but I was rocking it for a while. And he's been winning some stuff recently, and I don't know, he's really fun to watch on YouTube. Usually does pretty well.
Yeah, he's been on fire. Yeah.
Since I'm a walleye guy trying to do fantasy, what are your tips for this week on fork? Who do I pick?
What are my options?
Any of the elite guys, any of the elite guys. I put G-Man in my lineup, even though he kind of lets you down sometimes. I'm a big fan of old Gerald Swindell, so I put him on the lineup. And last time there, he got third, so I'm hoping he can repeat.
He's got a history there on fork.
So if you were to pick 5 bass anglers to fish fork, who would you put on your team?
Oh, I don't know if I can give you 5. I'll give you 3. So definitely Connell, he just won by about 40 pounds on, I can't remember where it was at, but he just won a tournament by about 40 pounds. That was pretty crazy. And then here, let me get I don't have a list in front of me right now. On the spot, I'm really forgetting names.
We three. Honestly, while you're looking there, you go ahead and look. I'll talk a little bit. I honestly am really scratching my head. I think Drew Benton is going to have a good weekend on fork. Everybody's going with Lee Livesey because Lee's basically the king of Lake Fork, and it's to the point where he was at 70% and have dropped back, so it's at 66%. And I'm going elsewhere. I am not going Lee Livesey. I am going Lee Livesey in my Drain the Lake, but not in my fantasy fishing.
So, anyways, we won't make you do that. I'm going to take that Connell one. I might change my lineup tonight and put him in the Sam Spies sleeper. But okay, so we got how you got started. How old you got to be to start fishing this high school bass? Where does one? I mean, obviously, go to Bassmasters to find out about it, but what else are the tricks of the trade to get to this level?
So obviously you got to have a boat, which is the expensive part. And then, so anything under high school would be the junior series. And that's pretty much the same as the high school series. They both run together. Like the one we're doing here in Douglas Lake, they'll have the junior guys out with us, but it's 2 separate competitions. And then to get into it, honestly, it's just, you got to have all the stuff, and then pretty much anyone can get into it, especially if you're up north. There's not a lot of guys in it. Down south, the state tournaments, you'll get about 100 boats in those. Around here, I think we have about, I can't remember, it's like 8 to 10 boats. And it's a lot of fun, but I wish we had a little more competition here. So,
and I think that the growing interest in bass fishing over walleyes with the young kids is incredible. Like I've been talking about doing a youth tournament and doing a couple different youth tournaments, and all the dads and the older guys say, let's go walleye fishing. I said, these kids don't want to do it. They want to be bass fishing. And I think the YouTube sensations like Milligan, all that stuff that's going on is really making them want to fish it. And electronics, we're finally figuring that out in the walleye world. But, you guys are actually casting, you're up there moving. You're not, my favorite thing, honestly, like I hated pulling bottom belcher spinners. I was a crankbaiter, but that's boring. I mean, really, you sit there in a chair and wait for a rod to go off. You guys are casting, making the baits move by hand. And that's what people don't understand is you can't troll. There is no trolling in bass. You have to make your baits move by hand. Is that why you got into it? More interactive, more, you're not just sitting there waiting for a rod to bend over and a rod holder. Like, I mean, is that what you're seeing?
So yeah, of course I love to eat my walleye, but I'm really into the whole casting and everything. Really getting to. I feel might be controversial, but I feel like, in my opinion, it's a little more skillful. Like having to actually like move the things with your hands and like actually casting up to shore, casting accuracy and how you're moving your baits around. And I know now with walleye fishing, you're coming with the live scope and you're actually casting. So I know that's changed a lot, and now I'm getting more back into the walleye stuff too because it's more it's starting to turn more like bass with casting and everything.
Yeah, it's big time. We've turned the corner with, forward facing sonar and, jigging wraps and, blade baits and stuff like that. We've really turned the corner. And it's quite crazy that, a couple of my buddies rode as marshals with, in the elite series was on Oahe and Pier. And, one guy, one of my buddies rode with Randall Tharp, and he goes, about every third cast, he'd catch a walleye and goes, "This a good one? Should we keep it?" Like, he's like, I wouldn't bought bass fishing stuff to go walleye fishing because he was just smashing the walleyes, doing this. And we're learning that a lot more. Forward facing sonar is teaching us that a lot more, that, you can Ned rig for walleyes, you can do the bass tactics for walleyes, and it's productive. You're catching fish.
Top water too.
Yeah. So you go down there, you take off these lakes. How many more events this year do you have? You got Georgia done, you got Tennessee, you got the combine coming up. How many more are you going to?
So yeah, we'll be in Lake Douglas in Tennessee, and then we'll be in Saginaw Bay in Michigan. That'll be in June, and hopefully we'll qualify for the World Championship again in South Carolina, I believe, this year. And then around here, we'll also be doing a lot of a lot of bass adult tournaments. So because there's like really nothing for youth around here.
And I believe you and your dad are coming to fish the Bass Cup and the Walleye Cup.
Yes, we are.
That's gonna be pretty awesome. Yeah, your dad messaged me. We don't have to have a 250 for your Bass Cup, do we? I said, no, I don't have a horsepower rating. I wouldn't get half the guys I do. So, we try to stick to a lot of bass rules. We break some, elite series, you can't use a net. I let you use a net. I don't care about horsepower rating, so we're just trying to get guys out there and grow the bass sport, because bass fishing on the river system and up northeast South Dakota is incredible. I mean, it absolutely is. And there's some big bass scattered throughout the state that we don't look at. We don't target them. We're out catching our eater walleyes, and that's what we do. And it's a lot of fun, but bass fishing is a lot of fun as well.
Maybe more fun.
If you ask Sam, I bet it's more fun. So anybody who's helped you along the way, I mean, your jerseys and stuff got some people on there. Who's helped you along the way? Are you looking to get more help? Is there any, I mean, it's pretty cool to me to see Sam going down and Max going to compete at these levels. It's cool. It makes me grateful and excited about the future, that a 17-year-old kid is going out bass fishing down south in a big tournament. You guys, like I said, your dad's been a walleye fisherman, your family's been around that, but to take the step to go do these things and actually compete, that's a big difference. And, I know a lot of kids that get in the boat with their dad on the weekend, they go fishing, they're done. You're studying, you're doing homework on it, not to mention homework in school and all the stuff to get you there, but you're actually chasing this dream, and that's pretty awesome. So, it makes me excited about the future of the industry, that we have kids coming up that are going to do these things, going to compete. So,
Well, and you can go just about anywhere from there. And the crazy thing is, I guess once you start doing this adult stuff, that you do the opens and you got a chance to make the classic. So,
and you get at the classic, don't they do a high school thing at the classic as well?
I'm not sure about that. I'd have to check into it.
Okay, I thought there was something with the high school last year. I saw at the classic, like they had a high school tournament or something, or maybe there are kids that fish the high school that got to come watch the weigh-ins for the classic or something. Someday we hope to interview you as you're before you walk or after you walk across the classic stage. Obviously, I would have, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I'm assuming that's the goal, right? I mean, I'm assuming get to that classic is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, so first goal is obviously to make it to college, and then I really just hope for the opportunity to really show what I'm about and hopefully, I guess, get the opportunity to eventually do some pro stuff.
So all the high school and college are team events, right?
Well, some of the pro events are just solo events, but all the college stuff is going to be you and co-angler.
Yeah. So do we have any idea? I mean, you're 17, junior in high school. Do you have any hopes and dreams for what college you're going to go to fish at? Or
Um, there's I'm honestly not really sure yet. We went to one college when we were in Clarks Hill called Erskine, and my buddy he's thinking he wants to go there, and they should give him a pretty good deal, and they have a pretty solid bass fishing team. So that one's not really on my list, but it was a pretty cool experience to go and tour the college and really learn. We got to hang out with the college kids who were bass fishing the same lake we were, so that was a really cool experience to really learn like what they're actually doing and what they're all about, I guess.
Did they have any of the Drews there, or Mark Frazier, Drew Cook, Drew Benton? Anybody for you to hang out with or to talk to and learn from?
Well, I mean, the guys did help us out. I will say we got to hang out with them after they were done with their tournament, so it was really cool experience to really like learn how like they how they uh how they how they fish the lake and what they do differently than the high school guys.
Yeah, that's
uh,
interesting.
how are you guys taken as the Northern boys? I mean, you guys come from South. Do they know what South Dakota is? And like, like how are you perceived on the tournament down there in the high school circuit? Like, our guys are like, what are you guys doing here? Or are they welcoming to you and pretty excited for you as well?
I mean, last time we went up on stage, they didn't even get our state right. They said we were from North Dakota, so I mean, I think they're
Course.
starting to learn our name because we usually finish pretty well. I mean, if we were getting last every tournament, it wouldn't be very impressive, but usually we do pretty decent. So I think they're starting to not count us out completely.
So I know I asked, but you got any sponsors that, or people you want to shout out to that have helped you along the way, or are going to help you get further down the road? And
So yeah, there's one person I would like to shout out, which I think Mark Perry and Honey Bucket. He's been like my main guy and really helped me out with this whole deal.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's Mark's a good dude, and yeah, Honey Bucket. I talked to your dad. We talked a little boat stuff, and he was telling me some rumors that might be happening if we get you a boat, and if you get a boat. I'm pretty excited to see that. And I think you got a bright future ahead of you, man. I'm super excited. Your dad texted me the whole detail of the tournament. I'd already known the whole detail of the tournament because I'm watching what you guys are doing.
And there's a couple others if that's okay if I shout those out too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please do.
All right, so I just want to say thank you to Artist Acres, Gunnet Farms, Lead Nation, Cowboy Country Stores, Par 47, Champion Ranch, and First Interstate Bank. And it really wouldn't be possible without any of them. So I'm really thankful for all of them.
So with that, I mean, that's part of like when I was looking at doing a high school thing. When you got into this at a young age, did you ever think you're going to have to be a marketing guru along with a fisherman?
No, so it's actually a lot of work trying to get all these people to stay dedicated to actually getting it done and figuring everything out. So, I mean, when it started, I thought maybe one or two, but now we're up to 8 and still adding on and always, of course, looking for more. I mean, the more help, the better. And it's really taught me some lessons on how much work everything is and how hard it is really to do this. But it's really shown me that, I guess it's shown me the love for it and that it really is all possible.
You had to have
Well,
learned a little from Benny though, too, right? In that marketing department.
Yeah, we had to talk about everything and he's one of my sponsors, so he helped me out and he really of course he has some really big sponsors and he really taught me how to do it and I've taken pictures for him before when we've been hunting and he's really shown me like how much work.
How many pictures do you have to take before you get one right? Because I've been in the same shoes.
A lot. A lot.
You shoot one bird and it's a 4-hour photo shoot with Benny.
Yep, that's what it is.
No, you don't got the sun right in the background. Stand on your head to get that one.
Oh, that's hilarious. Hey, let's do this real quick. How old is Sam? He said it earlier in the show. I don't know how many people are watching right now, but if you could tell us how old, just comment, and we'll let you know if you win. If so, you DM us, and we'll make sure that you get one of those Between Hook Sets mugs.
So, you know, and that is a big thing. Your dad sent me the marketing package. I personally am behind you. We got a winner.
Big winner. There we go. We'll have to get her address.
Yeah, I have to get her address. We have, I told your dad I want to be behind you. I want to support you with my fishing crew stuff. So be prepared for something coming from the fishing crew, because I really think what you're doing is inspiring. I've got a nephew that would eat what you're doing up. It is super awesome to see. Go live that dream, man. Chase it. Don't lose the passion. Obviously, you've got something figured out. It's pretty impressive that you can go down and fish against, as many teams as you do, and you get 38th place. And like I said, you're at a disadvantage, especially. It'll be interesting to see how this next tournament goes when you lose 2 days of practice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And your dads aren't there your dads don't know any more than you know when you get down there, and frankly, like your partner's dad, like you said, he don't fish, he doesn't know. And I'll pick on your dad a little bit. He probably wants to drop a bottom bouncer down. So, it's super awesome to see what you're doing, man. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Thanks for coming on. Please keep us updated on everything you do. And guys, be watching for Sam and Max, because I think you'll hear their names for a long time to come.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you.
Yep. Sam, it's been great to have you. Thanks for joining the show. Thank you very much.
Thank
You
you.
have a good night, buddy.
Yep,
By the
you
way,
too.
folks, there's a lot of stuff going on. Bassmaster Elites. Whoop, we're covering up Kurt there real quick. Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic this weekend in Sioux Falls, and then the Muskie Expo and the Minnesota Deer Classic next weekend. So kind of a double header thing if you want to go to Minneapolis or the Twin Cities area and have some fun. So ton of fun there. Kurt, it's been good. I like it. It was fun.
Awesome, buddy.
All right.
Next week we got, did I see on the scroller? Next week we got Drake Hurd.
Yes,
Drake Hurd. NWT
from Iowa,
Pro.
Minnesota. We have a lot to talk about with Drake, so it's gonna be fun to have him on the show.
Pretty fun. I'm pretty excited about next week. So
me too.
Take care, buddy. We'll see you later.
Right. Take care. We'll see you later.